124 macros in C language. So let's look at macros in C language. So in the previous video we have talked about the difference between the malloc and the calloc function used for dynamic memory allocation. Now in this video we will learn about the macros that is very helpful in C language. So let's look at macros. So a macro is nothing more than another define. It is actually a define. Since it is capable of at least appearing to perform some logical decision or some math function, it has a unique name. Therefore, we use the concept of a macro to define anything. Okay, like type def. With the mathematical function, we use the concept to dignify the thing with the unique name. So this is the main purpose of macro. We will work with the program tool also, and we will build a program in which we will use the concept of the macro, and you will understand it very easily. So let's look at macro and its use. So what you need to do is that you have to use the hashtag define, then macro name. So this is the wrong macro for cube. This is the wrong macro for cube. This is not the right way of implementing the macro, because here you are seeing there is no space. That's why this is wrong macro. So for defining the macro, you have to use the hashtag define, then the cube here, and this should be capital. This should be in capital letter. Cube, then parenthesis open and close, and this is the cube side, which is denoted with the capital A. Then space is required here, and we know the property of cube that side should be multiplied 3 times. A multiply with A multiply with A. So this is the property of a cube. So this is going to define a cube having the 3 sides that is multiplying with each other. So this is the correct macro. This is the right macro for cube. Again, you can see that hashtag define SQUR. So this is also a right macro for square. Okay, you need to specify capital letter here. Then you have to use the cube, we can say square property, that is A into A is going to be the square. So this is actually defining as the right macro. Then hashtag define start. Start is the macro which is starting from capital letter, and it contains 1 in it. So this is also a correct macro, and this is also a correct macro, because hashtag define is the reserved keyword used for the macro, for defining the macro, and this is the macro which is used in the capital letter. You have to use the macro in capital letter. Then whatever you wanted to assign it, you can assign here. So stop is going to contain 9. If you write stop, it means 9. If you write start, it means 1. So this is the correct macro. Now, so you have know about the fact that macro is going to work to define anything in your programming. So now do the coding, and I am just going to elaborate the code based on the macro. So let's look at. Here is the example in which I am going to elaborate about the macro. So first of all, you have to define the header file that you wanted to do, and here I am starting it from the main function. So first of all, declare all the header files before the main function. As I have told you, this is the main function. Okay, then you need to open the main function here like this, and I am using the 2 variable here, I and offset. I and offset is a variable of integer data type, and offset is containing a 5 in it, and I am using the concept of the macro that I have declared here, that is the hashtag start 1 and hashtag stop 9. So we can say offset is containing a 5, and offset is a variable of integer data type, so it is containing a 5 in it. Offset is containing a 5 number in it. Okay, and we are just starting with the loop here. So loop is going to start from I equal to start, but what we have defined in I, we have defined 1 in I. we have defined start in I, and start is a macro. Start is a macro which contain 1 in it. Therefore, I is going to be initialized from 1 and it will went up to 9, because stop is a macro. We have defined the macro stop as a 9, therefore it will went up to 9. So this is the main working, we can say, of the macro, that you can use your own variable to define anything in macro. So it will goes from 1, loop will go from 1 to 9 till the condition become false, and this is going to be printing down. Okay, so actually after the execution, when I become 1, the condition become true, because I is less than equal to 9, the condition is true, therefore this statement is going to execute. It means it will print the square of percentage d, and the cube of percentage d is going to be I plus offset. I is 1 here and offset is 5, so 6 comma square of 6. Square of 6 is actually 36, so 6 is going to be printing here. The square of 6 is 36 and its cube is 6 into 6 into 6. Okay, 36 into 6. So its cube is going to be printed here, and then it is going to print this statement in the similar way. The wrong of percentage d is percentage d, means 6 is wrong contains I plus offset, I plus wrong macro for cube. It is also a macro, wrong macro of a cube. So it is going to contain I plus offset. So I is 6. I is 6. So wrong of 6 is going to contain 36 into 6. That is going to be displayed here. And it will display till the condition is over. So this is the main working of the macro in C language. So this was all about the macro in C language. So thanks for watching.